So yesterday, the New York Times released an article stating that Democrats now regret their actions during Trump's speech to Congress last Tuesday. But it's not just the New York Times. Earlier today, The Hill published a post stating that the Democrats' performative actions are indicative of the fact that they have no alternative vision for America. Well, it's not just Democrat representatives saying this. Even their cheerleaders in the media are beginning to realize just how hopelessly lost in the political wilderness the Democrats are. Here is CNN's Van Jones.
Look, man, we're screwed. I mean, we don't know. No, Democrats don't know what to do. This is a nightmare. Somebody like Donald Trump, we thought we'd at least have Hakeem Jeffries in the speaker's chair to hold him back if we didn't have Kamala in there to do the right thing. Listen. The Democratic Party is going through a massive set of internal crises. You have a party that got trapped two ways. One, defending a broken status quo that nobody likes because they thought that Donald Trump was going to make it worse. But when you're defending the status quo, you're going to lose. And then offending most people in the country, calling everybody sexist and racist and transphobic and every other name, and then saying, please follow us. That's not a good strategy, folks. Defending a broken status quo and offending most of the country turns out is not as popular as my party thought it was going to be. And so it's going to take a while for people to get it figured out.
And as you can see here, the Democrat Party's approval rating has now cratered. It's dropped to 31%. This is the latest, according to the latest Quinnipiac poll. And then on top of that, they have not found a new leader. I showed you the clip over the weekend of Tim Walz appearing on CNN, and Casey Hunt asked him, who do you think the leader of the Democrat Party is? And he couldn't come up with anyone. He just gave a politically correct, totally non-offensive answer about how it's the voters. Oh, come on. We want to know what you actually think here. But maybe the truth is there is no leader. They're throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks. And that's why there have been so many attacks against Donald Trump. He's a dictator. No, he's an idiot. No, Elon Musk is the boss. No, it's the egg price. Like, the constitutional crisis, right? Every single day, it's a different argument that they lobby against Donald Trump. And the fact that they can't even hone in on one just shows you there is no cohesive strategy, message, or vision for the future. Now, the Democrats, part of what probably scares them is the fact that Trump is actually delivering on what he said he would do. Not just delivering, but delivering on a record pace. And by the way, there actually is some economic good news coming out of all of this. Yes, the tariffs and trade war stuff, the media is trying to blow that out of proportion to get people worried. But you take a look at egg prices, they're already coming down. You take a look at gas prices, they're already coming down. You take a look at inflation. Guess what? Yes, that is coming down too. Now, of course, the stock market has been in a bit of a free fall, but I said before the election that I believed that was going to happen. A lot of people thought the stock market was overvalued anyways. But of course, the Democrats are going to find a way to blame that on Trump. And speaking of successes, speaking of Trump delivering, not just on his promises, but delivering what Democrats said was impossible, right as I sat down to make this video, in case you haven't seen it, Ukraine has now agreed to a 30-day ceasefire. Now, we have to get Russia to the table. Russia hasn't responded yet, so maybe they won't agree to this. But if Trump is able to achieve a 30-day ceasefire, that is a huge deal. Don't we want peace? Don't we want the fighting to end? Don't we want to prevent this war from escalating and spreading? That's what a ceasefire would do. So the Democrats, hopefully they'll give credit where credit is due. But speaking of Ukraine, yesterday, as many of you were aware, especially if you're on X, there was a massive cyber attack. So Elon Musk himself posted about this. There was, still is, a massive cyber attack against X. We get attacked every day, but this was done with a lot of resources. Either a large coordinated group and or a country is involved, tracing. So it turns out it was a denial of service attack, the DDoS attack. And essentially what those are, way oversimplifying this, but different devices try to access the website. They ping the website, so to speak, and try to overwhelm the servers. And usually during a DDoS attack, they are either concentrated or, sometimes it's a worldwide network. I will say that an Iran-backed group initially claimed credit for it, though, a lot of terrorist groups claim credit when they're not the ones actually responsible. But Musk said something interesting on Fox Business in regards to where they traced this attack coming from.
There was a cyber attack on X today, which shut it down and may have been foreign sourced.
Yes.
It's a big story. You want to give us a moment on that?
Well, we're not sure exactly what happened, but there was a massive cyber attack to try to bring down the X system with IP addresses originating in the Ukraine area.
That is very interesting, the fact that the attack appears to have originated from Ukraine. However, that's not to say that Ukraine did it, and that's not even to say that whoever was behind it was even in Ukraine, because anyone who has ever used a VPN knows you can make yourself look like you appear from anywhere. So the US has not identified whether or not Ukrainians were involved, and Musk himself has not made that allegation. But it is just the fact that the IP addresses appear to be coming from there, but we still don't know anything. I just want to be very clear. It's easy to jump to that conclusion, but I want to stay factual. But it is not a good look for Ukraine. There is a possibility it could be an outside group trying to further drive a wedge between the US, obviously, since Musk is so closely knit and tied into the Trump administration that maybe they thought framing Ukraine would further drive a wedge between the administration and Ukraine. There are many reasons why someone would want to do that. But it is something interesting and something that I will be following and keep sharing updates with all of you. But it wasn't just X that's been attacked. What's really been sad over the last few weeks is the fact that physical Tesla stores all across the country have been the victims not just of protests, but of riots and looting and break-ins and cars being set on fire. Here in New York City, take a look at this. You'll notice the windows are cracked. They attempted to storm the storeroom, and police are dragging them out. This wasn't just a one-time event, by the way. This has been happening for days, if not 2 to 3 weeks at this point. In Seattle, they actually set a whole bunch of Cybertrucks on fire. What is really ironic about this is the left tries to claim that they're all about environmentalism, all about stopping climate change and global warming. Well, if you know anything about any electric vehicle, not just Teslas, whenever they catch fire, it is very difficult to put out because of everything in the batteries, right? And so not only does it take a lot of water to put it out, but you've also wasted, I mean, it is just not environmentally friendly at all to set a Tesla on fire. It does more damage. And so again, it just shows the hypocrisy, and it shows that they don't really care what they're preaching about. It's all virtue signaling. It's all just trying to bend and go with the political winds. Because if you actually cared about the environment, you would not be setting all these Teslas on fire. And then it also obviously shows just a lack of moral and ethics. The fact that you would destroy a place, and then you're affecting all the people who actually work at that location. You're not hurting Elon Musk physically or monetarily. He's not in any pain, but you're hurting the people along the way. And some of those people may not even support Trump. It's well known that electric vehicles typically are purchased by left-leaning liberals, Democrats, or just anyone left of center. Typically, that may be changing these days. But it's very likely that the people also working at those stores and in those showrooms and anyone working in production probably is aligned with those goals. So they are hurting a lot of people on their own side. And to me, it's like, why would you hurt anyone anyways? Like, this is one of the dumbest ways to protest. But here is another photo of the aftermath. You can see 2 Cybertrucks totally destroyed, totaled because of all of that. But as if that's not bad enough, there is now a video that purports to show a protester who claims he was paid to protest outside of a Tesla showroom.
Yeah, I get paid to be out here.
You get paid to be out here?
Yeah.
Amazing. So some pack.
Yeah. You really are getting paid for this?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Definitely. 100% I'm getting paid for this.
Again, that raises the question, who's paying for you and why? And it also makes me wonder, the people who destroyed those Cybertrucks up in Seattle and the people who stormed the Tesla showroom in New York City, were those people paid? Or are the paid protesters being used to fan the flames and incite violence? And that leads to organic violence actually happening in the showrooms. It's only a matter of time until someone gets hurt. Now, I want you to flip situations. Let's say Republicans were storming, I don't know, Amazon. Or let's say Amazon locations like Whole Foods. Or some other left-wing store. You know what I'm saying. don't you think the media would have an outcry over this, or they would claim it's a riot or an insurrection or the dangerous extremist right-wingers? We all know they would do that, but for whatever reason, this story is not getting any traction in the media, which is why I want to cover it. It really is a shame. You can vote with your pocketbook. You can say, hey, I'm not going to purchase a vehicle from Tesla. Hey, I'm going to return my vehicle. You have the freedom to do that. But the moment you start destroying someone else's property, you have crossed a line that shouldn't be crossed in a civilized society. Shame on Democrats. Now, some of you may have seen the viral video over the weekend of a girl during a track race hitting another competitor in the head with a baton. Turns out that person, the girl she hit, got a concussion, and it's very possible, we don't know publicly yet, but it's very possible she even has a fractured skull. According to the Washington Post, high school runner suffers concussion when opponent strikes her with baton, and they're worried she has a fractured skull, but there hasn't been an update confirming or denying that. Well, the girl who hit her in the head is now crying about the whole situation, and she says she's the victim in all of this. Yeah, it's not the girl who got the concussion and potentially has the fractured skull. It's her, because we're not taking her emotional and mental state into account. Here's what she said on the local news.
Everybody has feelings. So you're physically hurt, but you're not thinking of my mental, right? They're going off of one angle. A couple times hitting her, my baton got stuck behind her back like this, and it rolled up her back. I lost my balance, and when I pumped my arms again, she got hit. I know my intentions, and I would never hit somebody on purpose. They're assuming my character, calling me ghetto, racist slurs, death threats, all of this just because of a nonsense.
So she's basically claiming she didn't hit her on the head. It's just because she was running so fast, her arms naturally did that, and the baton just, rolled up that way. But if you take a closer look, and that's why these videos are side by side, she is in a very steady rhythm at the beginning of the race. Her arms are just pumping, boom, 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 and then she changes, her cadence changes, and you actually see her pull her arm back. It would be one thing, right? I could buy the argument if maybe the girl in front of her accidentally changed lanes and she's pumping her arms up and down, and her baton hit as she goes up, but that's not what you see here. You actually see her right here. What you want to look at is the girl in the innermost lane. Again, arms in a steady cadence, and then she pulls back right here. Pulls back and hit. I mean, I really don't think that is an angle situation. I think right here she's trying to save face because, I mean, she would have been in trouble anyways, but the fact that she gave this girl a concussion and it's very possible her skull was fractured, yeah, she's trying to cover for herself, but instead I think she's just digging the hole a little deeper there. Well, one final story. So the Oscars happened about 2 weekends ago, and Kamala Harris apparently was watching, not surprised, and so she was giving a speech, and for whatever reason, she thought that the world wants to know that she DoorDashed Doritos so she could order and eat Doritos during the Oscars. It was the most bizarre word salad that just has no self-awareness. And the fact that she was almost her president, and the fact that she thinks this story is funny, I mean, she clearly is the funniest person she knows. Take a look.
So we did DoorDash because I wanted Doritos. And the red carpet part was about to start. Nobody wanted to leave to go to the grocery store. So it was DoorDash. And I'm thinking about this, so I was willing to give up whatever might be the tracking of Kamala Harris's particular fondness for nacho cheese Doritos for the sake of getting a big bag of Doritos as I watched the Oscars.
First of all, word salad. Second of all, in case you missed what she was talking about when she was talking about tracking. So if you use DoorDash, you can track your order, similar to how you track orders online, right? But she wasn't talking about tracking her order. She was talking about, she thinks the rest of us care about her love for Doritos. During the campaign, she went to gas stations and staged the photo ops of getting her chips, getting Doritos, and Doug passed them to her, then Tim Waltz passed them to her. And it was this whole thing in the media, and they blew it up to try to make her look relatable. Apparently, she fell for it because she thinks the rest of the world actually cares that she goes out to buy her own Doritos. And that's why she shares the story, and that's why she's laughing, because like, oh, ha, 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 humble, normal, relatable me. And you can hear the crowd, which presumably is a left-leaning crowd, since that speech was in California. No laughs. They're just sitting there like, what in the world are you talking about? She obviously is in a state of denial about her election loss and unpopularity, but I prefer to stay in a state of Daniel, you know, where reality actually matters. But as always, all of that is just my analysis and commentary. That is what's going on in the world of politics from my point of view, and I would love to hear from you. So a lot of stories in today's video, and as always, you are free to comment on any of them, but I'm really interested what people think about the track race. I mean, do you believe her alibi that it was an accident and perhaps it's just the camera angle, and if there was a better angle, she wouldn't look so bad? Or do you agree with my take on it, that, hey, her arms were in a steady cadence, then all of a sudden she pulls back? I don't know why you would pull back, especially in the middle of a sprint. Usually you want to keep that steady cadence and then accelerate towards the end as you're heading towards the finish line. This sort of motion, the arm raised back, is not going to help propel you forward. If anything, it's going to throw you off beat and slow you down. Maybe I already shared my opinion, but I think maybe she was jealous or upset that someone dared cross her in the middle of the race. Maybe she's a sore loser, or maybe it's an arch nemesis, a rival, and who knows? Maybe there was beef there beforehand. If anyone has any more details or caught onto anything that I missed in that video while analyzing it, let me know down in the comments below. If you haven't already, please be sure to give me a thumbs up. I know it's a simple thing to ask for, but it really does help me reach more viewers like you in the algorithm. Be sure to smash that subscribe button and to check out one of these videos.